for you, Manchester City?
Yeah, I think Guardiola won the tactical battle there, you know, with his setup. I don't think Chelsea were helped with the injury to Morata and the strange substitution and putting Willian on there. They didn't threaten City enough. I said before the game I thought that you could get after City, but Chelsea never got out the first gear for me. And I think Guardiola has to take a lot of praise for it. But I think, as Dennis alluded to, you know, Chelsea just went at the races. The passing was going astray, you know, from that final third where you think, yeah, Hazard can do something, but at times he was on his own.
Can we make their big night out in Europe this week an excuse at all, Chelsea?
No, I don't think you can. You know, what is it, 2.5 hour flight, probably a private jet back. So no, I don't think you can. I think you're used to playing midweek and on the weekends, and I think today, you've got to applaud Man City. And I think their performance was outstanding, and they were worthy winners
Four
today.
shots all night, your team. That's it.
Yeah, that's the disappointing thing about it. You know, when you look at it and you look at the chances normally what Chelsea creates, there was nothing there today. You know, they really struggled. Whether or not it was the way that Man City went and set themselves up and shut the space down for them, not to allow them to do that, whether it was just they just weren't at the races. I mean, it's one of those where you think, what was it today? And really,
there will be questions inevitably about how much they missed their warrior, Diego Costa. So I'll put that to you straight away.
No, I don't think before this game, I think Chelsea had been performing very, very well with Morata up front. Yes, he may have knocked them about and caused them a few problems, possibly, but they would have still had to have got it up to him, and I'm not sure. In the middle third, they created enough to get it forward, and I think a lot of the passes were straight passes, and I look at this and I think, yeah, well played to Man City today.
And you've seen as much or more football this year than Jim Beglin. He just described that as the best he's seen. Is it you?
It's up there, and I think it's up there because of the level of opponent they were playing. That's what makes it a very impressive performance. But we got excited, I did anyway, because I said at the beginning, there's two teams arriving here today, both in fantastic form. Both had brilliant results in midweek, so both should be up for it, and it should be a fantastic game. Sadly, only one turned up. Now, I do think it was a combination of City being very good, and I've never seen Chelsea pass the ball as poorly as that for a long time, Richard. I really haven't. I thought they gave it away cheaply. I thought they gave it away in bad areas. I thought they made poor decisions. But I don't think their coach helped when Morata went off by subbing Willian. I didn't get that for the life of me. I've no idea what his thought process was going through to say, well, maybe I'm going to put Hazard up there. We know Fabregas did that job for Spain a few years ago, but that's when Cesc was much younger and his legs were much better than they are now. So I didn't get what he was thinking. I didn't get right. I'm doing that because I want to keep the football. Now, I would have understood that, but they didn't. They were poor.
You say Chelsea gave it away. Did they, or were they Barcelona'd into doing so? They were never allowed a second to relax on the ball,
I don't agree. I think there was loads of times in that football pitch. We were sitting watching the game here, and you're thinking, wow, that's unbelievable. Under no pressure. Just bad passes, sloppy, careless. It was that type of day for them. Yes, in other times when City put them under pressure, they gave it away under pressure, but this was Chelsea, so they shouldn't be.
Is that as good as you've seen City under Guardiola?
Listen, we know what they've got at their disposal, and we know when they're on top form they can do things like that, but to a team of Chelsea's stature, that is a big statement today. I thought they played really, really well. We all know the attacking intent they've got, but I just thought the way they moved the ball, and I thought Chelsea struggled to cope with them. You know, this is a goal, a fabulous goal from, you know, the man of the match for me, De Bruyne. But the one touch, crisp, sharp, moved the ball quickly. That was something that Chelsea didn't do this evening. A fantastic strike to win a game.
See, those two players that you saw in the picture, De Bruyne, but Silva alongside, David Silva alongside him, they're the two players that gave them more problems today, because no one knew whether they were going to pop up on the football pitch. They played right across the midfield, they played between the back and the front, and they popped up everywhere, both of them. They were the only two, really, that were given licence to go and roam. Most of the others were put in certain places to play. And I think it was fabulous the way they two went about their football today.
Did Guardiola win that before a ball was kicked?
Oh, Well, you've still got to play.
I don't like that word, but
yeah, but it's still got to work. I mean, what he did with Fabian Delph, we thought first half was clever, and it was a credit to Delph, who's hardly played football for him, that he did the job as well as he did. But it was noticeable as soon as they changed in the second half a little bit, they went back to a back four. Delph played more like a left back in the second half because the job was done.
If Fabian Delph could not have done what he done without being told and shown.
Yeah.
No way. No way possible. And I think you have to give that credit to Guardiola in the manner in what he's got him to do. And I think today, as Andy touched on, Chelsea are very structured today. And they wasn't creative enough, and they couldn't get the ball to Hazard, who is the most creative player they have. And they shut him out. And they shut him out in a really good way. But they made their players that were creative get on it.
Yeah.
And they got themselves in positions.
If Chelsea are title challengers, there was a chasm between what they've got and what City had today, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Play Brighton, channel choices to the right-hand side. It's Everton, Burnley, Newcastle United, Liverpool. Days were when that was a stunning Premier League fixture. Not necessarily that way around, but nevertheless, when those two met. First thing, what are City doing here, Andy? What is going on?
They've got, in my opinion, they've got certain players playing in definite positions, right? You've got Jesus, who's playing as a centre forward. You've got Sané and Sterling, who are playing as definite wide men and not moving from there. You've got Fernandinho, who's sitting in front of the defence. He's sitting and screens it. And then you've got a kind of 3-4. You've got Kyle Walker, who's never gone forward at all today, never gone on the overlap, hardly got himself forward, who's been very reserved, 2 centre-backs. And the one that's fascinating is all, Dennis Graham himself, is Fabian Delph. Because he doesn't really have a position. The two others that are roaming are De Bruyne and Silva, and why wouldn't you let them roam? They're the ones that are there to roam about, cause the problems in amongst all this settled play. But the one we're looking at is Fabian Delph, Dennis, isn't it? Time and time again we're thinking he drops back into a back four, then he walks into midfield, then he springs wide high up the pitch. It's like he's been given specific things to do at specific times, wherever the ball is.
Well, what's he been given to do, and is he doing them?
Yes, he is. He's doing them very well, to be honest. You look at him, he's pushing in onto Kanté when he needs to. He's dropping when he needs to go as a 4. And that's what they can't get to grips with it, Chelsea. The reason why is because they seem to have more numbers in the midfield now, Man City, and that's why they got so much possession. And the two wide men, Sterling and Sané, have to do their jobs with the wing-backs. And we was just touching on that, and the reason why is because Azpilicueta doesn't really want to go forward too much, and maybe he may make a change where he may put Moses out there who wants to go forward, and because I think Chelsea need to do a lot more going forward. I don't think Alonso and Azpilicueta have done enough as wing backs. They've been stayed in. They've made them stay in, which is what Man City wanted them to do, because they wanted to dominate the midfield. And Fabian Delph, as Andy said, and Walker's been very, very disciplined in what he's done. He hasn't ventured forward, and if he ventures forward, he will cause
So
Man City
we're
a
all
problem.
looking for formations and labels. What exactly is it? Is it the swivel 4 that you mentioned last week when West Brom did something similar?
It's a twist on there.
A twist from Jim Beglin, yeah.
Back 4 with a twist almost.
So it's a 4.
Well,
It's not really a 4.
it depends where the ball is.
Depends where the ball is, yes.
Have you got to be brave to play like this?
Yes, you have to be brave. And I think Fabian Delph has to be... it must have been so precise in his explanation to Fabian Delph, because he is in certain positions. He even breaks in behind Kanté as well when he needs to, when they've got it. And he goes really wide at times when he's got the space. But his main aim is to come into the midfield and make sure that he is tucked in alongside Fernandinho, to make sure and take care of Kanté.
Is there a way for Chelsea to counteract this?
Chelsea have been disappointing, Richard, to be honest, and Morata goes off as well, and the substitution's a strange one as well. So basically they're playing without a striker now, and they've got Willian on there. He's come on, he's not had the best of times since he's on there. So whether he has to make another change, I'm not sure. But at the moment, Manchester City are bossing it. They're bossing it, doing what they want to do, and it's Chelsea are running back towards their own goal. So I'd say that, he has to change something, because it's at this moment in time, City look the most likely team
If
to
he
score.
put Moses on there into that half pocket, that sort of...
What are you going to say?
Well, almost that half space, does he ask questions of them that he isn't at the moment?
Probably. I mean, Azpilicueta can do the job, but he's been more comfortable last year and a half playing beside centre-backs as a right-sided centre-back, and Moses has been the raider down the right-hand side. what they can do, two things for me. One, I'm surprised at the substitution. I was staggered when Willian came on. I don't know what his plan is. He obviously is a better coach than I am. But he's brought on Willian, another one